At one point, Nicolas Cage was one of Hollywood's highest paid actors, earning over $40 million in a single year. He had it all: mansions, yachts, rare artifacts, even a dinosaur skull. But behind the scenes, his fortune was unraveling. Between 1996 and 2011, Cage blew through $150 million, caught in a whirlwind of impulsive purchases, poor financial advice, and mounting tax debt. The IRS came knocking. Properties were seized, assets liquidated. The man who once owned castles was suddenly selling comic books to stay afloat. This wasn't a lack of income, it was a lack of psychological control. And that's the real story of money. It's not about how much you make. It's about how well you manage the storm inside. You think you're in control. You plan, you hustle, you climb. But money isn't a mountain, it's weather. And sometimes the storm hits no matter how well you packed. Luck and risk are invisible forces. They don't care how smart you are, they don't ask permission. The richest investor in history, Warren Buffett, made 99% of his wealth after age 50. Was it skill? Yes. But also time, luck, and staying in the game. The cliff doesn't warn you before it breaks. And that's the first truth. You're not fully in control. But you can learn to dance with uncertainty. Stay with me. Getting rich is loud. Staying rich is quiet. One road is paved with ambition, the other with paranoia. The first traveler bets big, shows off, takes risks. The second hoards caution like gold. Morgan Housel says, getting money requires taking risks. Keeping it requires humility. Most people confuse the two. They sprint toward wealth, then crash because they never learn to slow down. The twin roads look the same at first, but only one leads to freedom. The other leads to burnout. Which traveler are you? Why save money? Not for cars, not for status, for freedom. Every dollar saved is a vote for autonomy, for saying no when others say yes, for walking away from toxic jobs, bad deals, or fake friends. The vault isn't filled with stuff, it's filled with options. Most people spend to feel rich, but real wealth is the ability to choose, to pause, to breathe, to wait for the right moment. The vault doesn't sparkle, it doesn't shout, but it's the most powerful thing you can build, and it starts with restraint. You see the car, you see the watch, you don't see the debt. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the money not spent, the impulse resisted, the quiet decision to wait. Morgan Housel writes, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. The shadow figure isn't poor. He's invisible because true wealth doesn't perform. It protects, it prepares, it whispers, I'm safe. The loudest person in the room might be the most fragile. The quiet one? That's the fortress. Strategy matters, but so does luck. And here's the twist. You'll never know which one won. The mirror shows your reflection, but not your blind spots. You made a great investment. Was it brilliance or timing? You lost money? Was it stupidity or bad luck? The truth is, we rewrite history to protect our ego, but money doesn't care. It rewards behavior, not stories. The dice roll whether you like it or not. The mirror only shows what you want to see. So ask yourself, are you playing the game or just narrating it? Money isn't math, it's emotion. Fear, greed, envy, pride, they drive every financial decision. You panic during a crash. You chase during a boom. You compare your life to someone else's highlight reel, and the storm grows. Morgan Housel says, doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. The storm doesn't care about your IQ, it cares about your pulse. Learn to calm it, or it will control you. Compound interest is magic, but only if you wait. The impatient traveler spends early, chases trends, burns out. The patient one invests, forgets, and lets time do the work. The difference? Decades, not days. Morgan Housel reminds us, time is the most powerful force in investing, but it's also the hardest to trust. Because waiting feels like doing nothing. But in money, doing nothing is often the smartest move. The time machine doesn't speed you up. It slows you down, and that's where the magic happens. One decision, that's all it takes. Save or spend, invest or ignore, panic or pause. Each choice is a domino, and once it falls, the rest follow. Most people think wealth is built in big moments, but it's the small ones, the quiet choices that shape your future. Morgan Housel says, your personal experiences with money make up maybe 0.701% of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think it works. Your domino is yours. Tip it wisely. No applause, no spotlight, just peace. The quiet victory is the moment you realize you don't need more. You're not chasing, you're choosing, you're free. Most people never get here. They chase louder wins, but the real win is emotional control. Financial independence isn't a number, it's a mindset. Morgan Housel's message is clear. Money's greatest value is its ability to give you control over your time. The climber doesn't need the summit. He already won. You've seen the storm, the vault, the shadow, the domino. Now ask yourself, what does money mean to me? Is it safety, status, escape, pride? The answer shapes every decision you make, and it's different for everyone. But here's the truth. Until you define it, money will control you. Once you do, you control it. The psychology of money isn't about numbers. It's about you. So take the mirror, ask the question, and start building your freedom, one quiet choice at a time. You think you're making rational decisions, but most of the time you're just echoing your past. Childhood scarcity, cultural pressure, fear of missing out. These aren't just memories, they're invisible scripts. They shape how you save, spend, invest, and react. Morgan Housel says people do crazy things with money, not because they're crazy, but because they're human. The echo chamber doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you to chase what others chase, to fear what others fear, to compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. But once you hear the echo, you can rewrite the script. You can choose silence over noise, patience over panic, meaning over mimicry. The mirrors don't define you. They reflect who you were. Now it's time to decide who you'll become. If this video made you rethink how money works, not just in your wallet, but in your mind, then hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you value clarity over chaos. And if you want more stories that challenge your beliefs and sharpen your financial instincts, subscribe. Because here, we don't just teach money, we decode its psychology, one quiet insight at a time.